Order, Mr. Pitt, you've been sworn in. Please answer the questions truthfully and to the best of your ability. Miss Ellison, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Pitt, can you state your full name for the record?
William Bradley Pitt.
Mr. Pitt, you're here today to testify about your knowledge of the defendant, Mr. Sean Combs, and his alleged activities. Can you describe how you first became aware of Mr. Combs' interactions with your daughter, Shiloh?
It started about 3 years ago when Shiloh was 16. She'd always been headstrong, wanted to carve her own path. She got involved in some music and dance projects, and somehow that led her to working with Combs' team. I didn't think much of it at first. She was excited, said it was a big opportunity. But then things started to change.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by things started to change?
Shiloh started coming home late, sometimes not at all. She was secretive, which wasn't like her. She'd always been open with me, even during the tough times with her mom and me. But now she was guarded. I'd ask her about her day and she'd just say, "It's fine, Dad," or "Don't worry." Then I started hearing things, rumors from people in the industry. About parties, about Combs.
What kind of rumors, Mr. Pitt?
People talked about these events Combs would throw, exclusive, invite only. They weren't just parties, they were something else. I heard stories about young girls, barely adults, being pressured to attend, drugs, alcohol, things that no kid should be around. I got worried, so I confronted Shiloh.
And what did Shiloh tell you?
She didn't want to talk about it at first, kept saying she could handle herself. But one night she broke down. She told me Combs had been encouraging her to come to these parties, said it was part of the business, part of making it in the industry. She said he'd make these comments like she owed him for the opportunities he was giving her. She felt trapped.
Trapped how, exactly?
She said Combs had this way of making you feel like you couldn't say no. He'd dangle these promises, record deals, connections, fame, but there was always a catch. She told me about one night at his mansion in the hills. She was there with other girls, some even younger than her. There were men, older men, powerful men. She said Combs was in control of everything, like he was orchestrating it. She didn't want to be there, but she felt like she had no choice. She said he'd single her out, call her special, say she had potential. But it wasn't just flattery. He'd get close, too close, touch her arm, her shoulder. She said one time he pulled her aside and told her she needed to play the game if she wanted to make it. She was scared, but she didn't know how to get out. She was 16, for God's sake.
Did you take any actions after learning this?
Damn right I did. I called Combs myself, told him to stay the hell away from my daughter. He laughed it off, said I was overreacting, that Shiloh was part of the family. That's when he got cocky, said he knows too many people and I'd be smart to back off. I took that as a threat. I pulled Shiloh out of anything tied to him or his label the next day.
Mr. Pitt, are you aware of any other individuals who had similar experiences with Mr. Combs?
I've heard things. Other parents, other girls, people in the industry who have worked with him. They don't talk openly. Combs has a lot of influence, a lot of reach. But the stories are consistent. Young women promised the world, then pressured into things they didn't sign up for. I've talked to a couple of fathers, guys like me, who just want to protect their kids. They're scared to come forward because of who he is.
Mr. Pitt, why did you decide to testify today?
Because no one else was going to. Combs has been getting away with this for years, using his power, his money to manipulate people. My daughter got out, but others didn't. I can't sit back and let him keep doing this. Someone has to say something.
Thank you, Mr. Pitt. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Agnifilo, your cross-examination.
Mr. Pitt, you're quite the storyteller. You've painted my client as some sort of villain, but let's get to the facts. You said Shiloh worked for Mr. Combs, correct?
She was involved with his team, yes.
And during that time, did you ever personally witness Mr. Combs force your daughter to attend any of these alleged parties?
No, I wasn't there, but Shiloh told me.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Mr. Pitt is recounting a conversation he wasn't part of.
Sustained. Mr. Pitt, please stick to what you directly observed or experienced.
All right, I didn't see it myself, but I know what my daughter went through. She wasn't the same after those months with Combs' people.
But you didn't see Mr. Combs, did you? You're relying on what Shiloh told you, which, as a father, you're understandably emotional about. Isn't it possible she exaggerated or misunderstood the situation?
My daughter doesn't lie to me. She was shaken up, scared. She's not some kid making things up for attention.
I'm not suggesting she's lying, Mr. Pitt. I'm suggesting she was a teenager, maybe overwhelmed by a fast-paced industry. You yourself said she was headstrong. Couldn't she have made choices you didn't approve of and blamed Mr. Combs?
She was 16. He's a grown man with a reputation for throwing his weight around. She didn't choose to be pressured. She was manipulated.
Let's talk about this threat you claim Mr. Combs made. You said he told you he knows too many people. Isn't that just industry talk? A figure of speech? You're a powerful man yourself, Mr. Pitt. Haven't you ever said something similar in a heated moment?
Not like that. It wasn't a figure of speech, it was a warning. I've been in this business long enough to know the difference.
Or maybe he was just warning you not to cross him in a competitive business environment. You're a producer, Mr. Pitt. You know how these things go. No actual threat was carried out, was it?
He didn't have to follow through. The message was clear: back off or there'd be consequences. I wasn't going to wait to find out what those were.
One final point. You're a public figure, Mr. Pitt, known for your high-profile relationships. Isn't it possible that your personal life, your disputes with Miss Jolie, might color how you view your daughter's choices? Maybe you're looking for someone to blame.
This isn't about me or Angelina. This is about my daughter and what Combs did to her. Don't try to twist this.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Ellison, redirect.
Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Pitt, when you confronted Mr. Combs, how would you describe his demeanor?
Arrogant, like he thought he was untouchable. He didn't deny anything about Shiloh or the parties, just brushed it off like it was no big deal.
And based on your conversation with Shiloh and others, do you believe Mr. Combs' behavior was isolated to your daughter?
No, I think it's a pattern. He's been doing this for years, using his influence to prey on young women with big dreams. Shiloh was just one of them.
Thank you, Mr. Pitt. No further questions.
The witness is excused. We'll take a 15-minute recess.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from Brad Pitt, a father who fought to protect his daughter from a man who abused his power. Sean Combs used his wealth, his influence, and his charisma to exploit vulnerable young women, including Shiloh Pitt. This isn't about Hollywood drama or personal grudges. It's about a pattern of predation, parties where girls were pressured, manipulated, and intimidated. Mr. Pitt's testimony, backed by others we've heard, shows a man who believed he was above the law. We ask you to hold him accountable.
The prosecution wants you to see my client as a monster, but what do we actually have? A father's emotional story based on second-hand information from a teenager. No direct evidence. No witnesses who saw Mr. Combs commit any crime. This is a witch hunt fueled by jealousy and Hollywood rivalries. Mr. Pitt's a talented man, but his story doesn't hold up. My client is a businessman, a mogul, not a criminal. You can't convict a man on rumors and feelings. The evidence just isn't there.
You've heard the arguments. You'll now retire to deliberate.